You also write in your notes for your book, Writing for the Green Light, that you want to do your best to present a pitch without looking desperate.
Yes.
And you say that looking desperate may get you a raw deal, or it may not be as favorable. I'm curious, what are signs of desperation, and why? Why would being uber confident get you a better deal when it's still, the script is still the same, but maybe the screenwriter's a little unsure of themselves?
When I refer to pitch meetings, and I kind of explained pitch meetings, the best way to handle a pitch meeting would be treating it like a first date. The same rules apply in any facet of business, and they apply when you're pitching your screenplay or just presenting it in some way. If you're on a first date and you look desperate, you give off this really bad negative vibe. You're not confident in yourself, you don't believe in the work, or maybe when you're desperate about something, you're trying to push the work as it is, and you're not listening to how the other party maybe is kind of saying, we'd prefer it a little bit more over here. We're open to the idea, but we'd prefer it a little bit more like this. And if an individual is shying away from that and desperately holding on to what they feel it should be initially, they just don't present a very good image of themselves as being collaborative. Desperation can also come across of an individual's coming to me, let's say, and it's a film market or a film festival. I'm not the person they need to be pitching to, and I might explain that, and I might give them a business card of the right person to go talk to, but they continue pitching their script to me, and I'm not the guy who can help them. And it just kind of has this vibe of, okay, look, I'm not saying it's a negative against the screenplay, but you don't necessarily seem to understand the dynamic of how a business works and who to talk to in that business and all of that. It's a slight little thing where over time, too many of those start to kind of push your opportunities away from you. Whereas if you do the opposite, you force yourself to fake confidence, and there's a lot of ways you can do that. You are only, you truly try to listen to what people are telling you and approach the business in a way where you're presenting your script and your ideas in a confident, happy, fun way, and you're quick to say, if that idea doesn't work for you, don't worry about it, or you're being a little bit more easygoing with your work. That presents more of like, okay, this person understands that Hollywood's an evolving thing. The script is never really written until the final cut of the movie is finished. All those sorts of nuances.
So again, let's say I'm in front of the person that is the decision maker. What are some signs that are going to give me the appearance of confidence, even if I'm not? Because sometimes I think uber confidence to me is a turnoff. I'd actually rather see more of a real person, but I know a lot of people don't subscribe to that same belief. But what are some things, I know you said being too quick to be defensive. Sounds like that shows that you're wounded by the notes and that maybe it's too much for you to handle. But just, you're saying again, keeping it light, it sounds like?
Well, you bring up a really good point. You're correct. Faking confidence doesn't necessarily mean being narcissistic. And I don't mean to come off that way and have that be that. But it's a good point you're making. You're correct. To fake confidence, it's more about just realizing you're presenting work. You're presenting a blueprint of what could be a movie, but that blueprint is open to everyone else's ideas as well. So you're correct in saying, don't take any changes or adjustments to heart. Don't be too defensive about your work. But also, you got to watch the offensive part too, and not be too in love with your work, not be too self-absorbed with it, and recognize that you're not the only writer in Hollywood, and that you see it more as a collaboration of personalities working together to get a script in motion versus just you as a sole contributor to the script. So it's just a shift of how to view the overall relationship, I guess. Looking desperate is, going to a film market, a film festival, and just pitching your ideas to anybody and everybody who will give you 30 seconds of their ear. Looking desperate is being in an elevator and then realizing you're next to somebody who's kind of related to somebody else who has a connection to a decision maker, and then pitching them your idea awkwardly in an elevator. That's looking desperate. It's chasing trends. It's inventing scenarios that just aren't real business opportunities. for your work.